Admiral Hyunwoo stood at the center of the command deck, his hands clasped behind his back. Around him, dozens of screens showed the same image from different angles. Earth, a small blue and green planet that looked peaceful and quiet. Too quiet for a civilization that claimed to be advanced. The dreadnought Eternal Glory was the largest ship in the Velkari Empire's fleet. It stretched over 5 kilometers from front to back. Its weapons could destroy entire cities with a single shot. Behind it, 9,999 other warships followed in perfect formation. This was the largest invasion force the Empire had ever assembled. Lieutenant Jae-min walked up to the Admiral with a data tablet in his hands. The young officer looked excited. This would be his first successful invasion, and he wanted to make a good impression. "Sir, the final scans are complete," Jae-min said. "The humans have almost nothing in orbit. We detected a few small satellites, some space stations, no military ships, no defensive weapons that we can see." Hyunwoo nodded slowly. He had expected this. The Velkari scouts had been watching Earth for 3 months. Every report said the same thing. Humanity was weak. They had barely left their own planet. Their technology was primitive compared to the Empire's power. "What about their communication signals?" Hyunwoo asked. "Still active, sir. They know we are coming. Our advanced ships made contact 2 weeks ago and delivered the Emperor's demands." "The humans refused to surrender." Hyunwoo smiled. It was a cold smile without warmth. "Of course they refused. They always refuse at first. They think they can fight back. They think their pride is worth dying for." The Admiral walked to the main viewing screen. Earth grew larger as the fleet moved closer. He could see the white clouds swirling over the blue oceans. It looked so fragile, so easy to conquer. "How many planets have we taken?" Hyunwoo asked his crew. 347, sir," someone answered from the navigation station. "And how many of those planets defeated us?" Silence filled the command deck. Everyone knew the answer. 0. The Velkari Empire had never lost a battle. Not in 500 years. They had conquered species that were stronger, species that were smarter, species that had better weapons. None of it mattered. The Empire always won. Far below, on the dark side of Earth's moon, Colonel Ji-won sat in a different kind of command center. The room was underground, buried deep beneath the lunar surface. No windows, no natural light, just screens and computers and the quiet hum of machinery. Ji-won was 45 years old, but she looked younger. Her black hair was tied back in a simple style. Her uniform was clean and pressed. Her face showed no emotion as she watched the alien fleet approach. She had been waiting for this moment for 20 years. "Distance?" she asked. "Passing Saturn's orbit now," answered Captain Tae-yang. He stood at the tactical station, his fingers moving across holographic controls. "Speed is constant. Formation is tight. They are not trying to hide. Why would they?" said Commander Minseo from her station near the wall. "They think we are helpless." Ji-won allowed herself a small smile. "Good. Let them think that." The Lunar Command Center was called Fortress 1. It was the main control hub for Earth's entire defensive network. But the Velkari could not detect it. Humanity had spent 200 years building weapons and hiding them. The aliens saw what humans wanted them to see, nothing more. "Status of all defensive systems?" Ji-won asked. Tae-yang checked his screens. "Grid 1 through Grid 12 are online and ready. Power levels at maximum. Targeting computers have locked onto all enemy vessels. We can fire on your command. Grid 13 through Grid 20, also ready, Colonel. We can activate them in less than 5 seconds if needed." Ji-won nodded. 20 defensive grids. Each grid contained hundreds of weapons platforms hidden throughout the solar system. Some were buried on asteroids. Some floated in the darkness between planets. Some were disguised as old satellites or space junk. The Velkari had scanned past them without noticing anything dangerous. The aliens did not understand what they were looking at. Their sensors could not detect the technology humanity had developed. It was based on theories of physics that the Velkari had never discovered. Humans had been studying the universe differently, thinking differently, and now they had weapons that should not be possible. "Are the gravity wells ready?" Ji-won asked quietly. "Yes, Colonel," Tae-yang answered. "All 48 generators are active and waiting. The moment the enemy crosses Neptune's orbit, we can activate them." Ji-won turned to look at a specific screen. It showed the Velkari fleet as small red dots moving through space. So many ships, so much firepower. The Emperor had sent enough force to destroy 100 worlds. It would not be enough. What do you think they will do when they realize? Mincio asked. She was younger than Jiwan, only 32, but she had trained for this her entire life. Her family had worked on Earth's defense for 3 generations. They will panic, Jiwan said simply. They will try to run. They will send distress signals. They will beg for mercy. Will we give them mercy? Jiwan was quiet for a moment. She thought about all the species the Velkari had conquered, all the worlds they had enslaved, all the lives they had destroyed because they believed they had the right to take whatever they wanted. We will give them a choice, Jiwan finally said. Surrender or die. The same choice they gave us. Back on the Eternal Glory, Admiral Hyunwoo was giving orders to his fleet. All ships prepare for orbital insertion. Battle Groups 1 through 5 will establish a blockade around the planet. Groups 6 through 8 will target their military bases. Groups 9 and 10 will remain in reserve. Yes, sir, Jamin said, relaying the orders to the rest of the fleet. Hyunwoo felt satisfied. This would be over quickly. The humans would see the size of the invasion force and lose hope. They would surrender. The Emperor would add another planet to his collection. And Hyunwoo would receive medals and honors, sir. We are approaching Neptune's orbit, the navigation officer announced. Maintain speed and course, Hyunwoo ordered. The fleet of 10,000 ships crossed an invisible line in space. The Admiral did not know that line existed. His sensors did not detect anything special about that location. To him, it was just empty space. But to Colonel Ji-won, watching from the moon, it was a trigger. They have crossed the boundary, Tae-yang reported. All enemy vessels are now within the kill zone. Ji-won took a deep breath. This was it. 200 years of preparation. Countless hours of work. Trillions of dollars spent on research and development. All for this moment. She opened a communication channel that connected her to every defensive station in the solar system. Hundreds of officers were waiting for her command. All of them ready. All of them trained. All of them understanding what was about to happen. This is Colonel Ji-won to all stations, she said calmly. Authorization code Delta 7 Omega. Activate all defensive grids. Initiate protocol Hammerfall. Across the solar system, 48 gravity generators powered up at the same instant. They had been built into asteroids and moons. They had been hidden in the radiation shadow of Jupiter. They had been waiting in the cold darkness beyond Pluto. And now they began to work. The generators did something that should not be possible. They created tiny distortions in space itself, small areas where gravity became so strong that nothing could escape, like black holes but controlled. Precise, targeted. Admiral Hyunwoo was still smiling when his ship's alarms began to scream. Sir, unknown energy readings. Multiple sources. They are all around us. What? Where did they come from? Hyunwoo demanded. The officer at the science station looked terrified. I don't know, sir. They just appeared. The readings don't make sense. It looks like gravitational anomalies, but that is impossible. Nothing can generate. The officer never finished his sentence. 3,000 Velkari warships simply vanished from existence. They did not explode. They did not break apart. They were compressed into points of space so small that atoms could not exist. They became nothing in less than a second. Admiral Hyunwoo stared at his screens in horror. 3,000 ships, 30 million crew members gone, just gone. Retreat, he screamed. All ships full reverse. Emergency jump. Get us out of here. But Ji-won was already activating the second wave of weapons, and these were even more terrible than the first. But we will show no mercy to those who come with weapons and threats. The transmission ended. Hyunwoo sat in silence. The debris field spread across millions of kilometers. Pieces of Velkari warships drifted in the darkness, tumbling slowly through space. Some pieces were as large as buildings. Others were as small as coins. All of them were now monuments to the Empire's greatest defeat. Commander Minseo stood in the communications center of Fortress 1, preparing for the most important broadcast of her life. Around her, technicians worked at their stations, setting up the transmission equipment. This message would not just reach the Velkari Empire. It would reach every civilization in this sector of the galaxy, every species that had been watching Earth with curiosity or hunger. Transmission array is ready, Commander, said one of the technicians. We have access to 17 different frequency bands. The message will reach at least 40 different star systems immediately. Within 6 hours it will spread to hundreds more. Minseo nodded. She had spent the last 2 hours writing and rewriting the speech. Colonel Jiwan had reviewed it. Captain Taeyang had offered suggestions, but the final words were hers. She would be the voice of humanity for this moment. "Begin recording," Minseo ordered. The camera activated. Minseo looked directly into it, her expression calm and serious. She wore her Earth Defense Force uniform with pride. Behind her, the emblem of the EDF was visible on the wall. A simple image of Earth surrounded by stars. No weapons, no threats, just a planet and the universe around it. "This is Commander Minseo of the Earth Defense Force," she began. "I am transmitting this message to all civilizations capable of receiving it. What you're about to hear is important. Please listen carefully." Far across the galaxy, in monitoring stations and command centers, beings of dozens of different species stopped what they were doing. They had already detected the massive energy signatures from Earth's solar system. They had seen the Velkari fleet disappear from their sensors. Now they would learn what happened. "Approximately 200 years ago," Minseo continued, "humanity detected the first signs of intelligent life beyond our world. We were excited. We were hopeful. We believed we were ready to join the galactic community as friends and partners." She paused, letting the weight of her next words build. "But we quickly learned that the galaxy was not the peaceful place we imagined. We observed wars, conquests, empires that took what they wanted by force, species that enslaved others. We watched the Velkari Empire spread across 300 star systems, crushing anyone who opposed them. On the Velkari homeworld, Emperor Dae-hyun watched the transmission with shaking hands. His throne room was filled with advisors and generals, all of them silent. They had just received word of the fleet's destruction. Now they were seeing the face of their enemy for the first time. "We made a decision," Minseo said. "We chose to remain silent. We chose to observe. We chose to prepare. For 2 centuries, humanity studied your empires. We learned your tactics. We analyzed your technologies. And we built defenses specifically designed to protect our world." She gestured to something off camera. The view changed to show recordings of the battle. The Velkari fleet approaching. The gravity weapons activating, ships being compressed into nothing. The quantum missiles appearing inside reactor cores. Explosions lighting up the darkness. It was brutal. It was efficient. It was terrifying. The Velkari Empire sent 10,000 warships to invade Earth. Minseo's voice continued over the footage. They demanded our surrender. They threatened to enslave our population. They called us primitive, weak, easy prey. The footage showed the final moments of the battle. Only 200 Velkari ships remaining, damaged and fleeing. We destroyed 9,800 of their ships in 18 minutes. 49 million invaders died, and we did this using only a fraction of our defensive capabilities. The view returned to Minseo's face. Her expression was hard now, unyielding. "Earth claims no territory beyond our solar system. We have no interest in empire building. We do not seek to conquer or enslave. We only want to be left in peace." She leaned forward slightly, emphasizing her next words. "But understand this clearly. Any aggression toward humanity will be met with overwhelming force. Any attempt to invade our world will end in total destruction. We have proven that we can defend ourselves. We have proven that we are not victims. We are not prey, and we will never be conquered." The transmission paused. Minseo took a breath before delivering the final part of her message. "To the peaceful civilizations watching this broadcast, we say this. Earth is open to friendship. We are willing to share knowledge. We are ready to establish diplomatic relations with those who approach us with respect and peaceful intentions. We have much to learn from you, and perhaps much to teach." She stood straighter, her voice becoming formal. "To the empires and aggressors watching this broadcast, we say this. Leave us alone. Find easier targets elsewhere. Because if you come to Earth with weapons and threats, you will meet the same fate as the Velkari invasion fleet. We will show no mercy. We will use every weapon at our disposal, and you will not survive." Minseo let the silence hang for a moment. "This is Commander Minseo of the Earth Defense Force. This message is concluded." The transmission ended. In the communication center, the technicians confirmed that the message was broadcasting on all frequencies. Within minutes, it would reach the nearest star systems. Within hours, it would spread across hundreds of light years. Within days, every major civilization in this region of space would know what happened at Earth. Colonel Jiwan entered the communication center and approached Minseo. "That was well done, Commander. Clear, Direct, no unnecessary threats, but no weakness either. Thank you, Colonel, Minseo said. Do you think they will listen? Jiwan considered the question. Some will. The peaceful species will be relieved. They have been hoping someone would stand up to the aggressive empires. The smaller civilizations will see us as potential allies or protectors. And the aggressive empires? They will be afraid, Jiwan said simply. Fear makes beings do stupid things sometimes. We must be ready for that. On the Velkari homeworld, Emperor Daehyun was having the same conversation with his advisors. The throne room was in chaos. Generals were shouting. Politicians were arguing. Everyone had an opinion about what to do next. We must strike back, shouted General Kyung-soo. We cannot let this insult stand. The Empire has never accepted defeat. Strike back with what? Demanded Minister Hae-won. We just lost our entire invasion fleet. 10,000 of our best warships. And the humans did it in 18 minutes. Then we build more ships, Kyung-soo insisted. We gather our full military strength. Every vessel in the Empire. We hit them with everything we have. Did you not listen to their transmission? Hae-won shot back. They said they used only a fraction of their capabilities. What if they were telling the truth? What if they have weapons even more powerful than what they showed us? Emperor Daehyun raised his hand for silence. The room fell quiet immediately. All eyes turned to him. Minister Hae-won, the Emperor said quietly. You monitored the battle. What is your assessment of the human weapons? Hae-won stepped forward, her crystalline body pulsing with nervous amber light. Your Majesty, our scientists have analyzed the data from the surviving ships. The humans use technologies we do not understand. Weapons based on physics that we have not discovered. Their gravity generators should not be possible according to our current theories. Their quantum missiles use principles that our best minds say are impossible. Nothing is impossible, General Kyung-soo grumbled. Perhaps not impossible, Hae-won agreed. But far beyond our current capabilities. It would take us decades, maybe centuries, to develop similar weapons. And that is assuming we can figure out how they work. The Emperor looked at his general. Kyung-soo, be honest with me. If we sent every remaining ship in our fleet to attack Earth, what would happen? The general was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he spoke with reluctance. We would lose, Your Majesty. If the humans were truthful about only using a fraction of their strength, then they could destroy our entire fleet as easily as they destroyed the invasion force. Daehyun nodded slowly. He had suspected as much. Then we have only one choice. We must make peace. Peace? Kyung-soo looked shocked. The Empire does not surrender. We are not surrendering, Daehyun said firmly. We are acknowledging a superior force and choosing survival over pride. There is no shame in this. We attacked them. They defended themselves. We lost. Now we must accept the consequences and move forward. He stood from his throne, his crystalline body glowing with decisive blue light. Prepare a diplomatic shuttle, the Emperor ordered. Send our best ambassador to Earth. Include offers of reparations, non-aggression pacts, whatever they want. We will give them no reason to use their weapons against us again. As the Emperor's orders were carried out, the Velkari Empire began to understand a hard truth. They had built their power on the belief that they were the strongest, the most advanced, the most capable. For 500 years that belief had been true, but now there was a new power in the galaxy, a species that had hidden its strength until the perfect moment, a civilization that had turned patience into the ultimate weapon. Earth had announced its Ambassador Sang-min had served the Velkari Empire for 40 years. He had negotiated trade agreements with dozens of species. He had helped establish peaceful relations after wars. He had mediated disputes between hostile civilizations, but he had never been asked to do anything like this. His shuttle approached Earth alone, transmitting continuous surrender codes on every frequency. The small vessel looked pathetic compared to the massive invasion fleet that had been destroyed. But that was the point. Emperor Daehyun wanted the humans to see that the Velkari came in peace now, not war. Approaching lunar orbit, the shuttle's pilot announced nervously. Still no response from the humans. Sang-min's crystalline body pulsed with anxious yellow light. He tried to control it, but fear was difficult to hide when your emotions showed in bioluminescent patterns. Continue transmitting surrender codes. They will respond when they are ready. Inside Fortress 1, Colonel Ji-won watched the approaching shuttle with interest. The vessel had been detected the moment it entered the solar system. Earth sensors tracked it constantly, weapons locked on, ready to destroy it if necessary. But Jiwan had decided to let it approach. The Empire wanted to talk. That was good. Talking meant they had learned their lesson. "What do you think?" Captain Taeyang asked, standing beside her. "Is this genuine, or could it be a trick?" "It could be a trick," Jiwan admitted. "But that shuttle is too small to carry weapons that could threaten us, and our sensors have scanned it thoroughly. One pilot, one passenger, both unarmed. No bombs, no biological weapons, no hidden threats." Commander Min Seo joined them at the observation window. "Where should we meet them? Here on the moon?" Jiwan shook her head. "No, Fortress 1 remains secret. Send them coordinates for Geneva. We will meet on Earth. Let them see our world. Let them understand what they tried to destroy." 3 hours later, Sang-min's shuttle landed at a facility in Switzerland. The building was elegant but not military. It looked like a place designed for peaceful meetings, not war councils. That made Sang-min slightly more hopeful. Perhaps the humans were genuinely willing to talk. As he stepped off the shuttle, Sang-min saw humans for the first time in person. They looked smaller than he expected, fragile. Their bodies were soft flesh instead of crystalline structures. They breathed oxygen and water vapor just like his species, but they seemed so vulnerable. How could such creatures have destroyed the Empire's fleet? A human woman in military uniform approached him. She was young, perhaps in her 30s by Velkari age standards. Her dark hair was tied back neatly. Her eyes were intelligent and watchful. "Ambassador Sang-min," she said in surprisingly good Velkari language. "I am Captain Taeyang of the Earth Defense Force. Welcome to Earth. Please follow me." Sang-min was impressed that she spoke his language. It showed respect, preparation. The humans had been studying the Velkari for much longer than the Empire had realized. "Thank you, Captain," Sang-min replied in human language. His translator device helped with the pronunciation. "Your hospitality is appreciated." Taeyang led him through the building to a conference room. It was simple but comfortable. A large window showed the Swiss Alps in the distance, covered with white snow. The view was beautiful. Sang-min had seen thousands of worlds during his career, but there was something special about Earth's natural beauty. 2 other humans were already in the room. A woman with short black hair who stood with military precision, and an older woman in civilian clothes who smiled warmly at him. "Ambassador Sang-min," Taeyang said. "May I introduce Colonel Jiwan, commander of Earth's defensive forces, and Dr. Yuna, our chief science advisor." Sang-min's body pulsed with respectful blue light. He approached carefully, uncertain of human greeting customs. Dr. Yuna extended her hand. Sang-min recognized the gesture from his research. A handshake, a sign of peaceful contact. He had no hands in the traditional sense, but he extended one of his crystalline appendages carefully. Yuna gripped it gently and moved it up and down twice. The handshake, first contact between species done properly. "Please sit," Jiwan said, gesturing to a chair that had been specially designed for Sang-min's body structure. Sang-min settled into the chair, grateful for the consideration. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. I come bearing messages from Emperor Daehyun of the Velkari Empire." "We are listening," Jiwan said simply. Sang-min took a moment to gather his thoughts. This was the most important negotiation of his life. His Majesty acknowledges that the Empire committed a grave error. "We came to your world with hostile intentions. We threatened your people. We refused peaceful contact. And we suffered the consequences of our aggression." "Yes, you did," Taeyang said. There was no emotion in his voice, just a statement of fact. "His Majesty wishes to offer formal apologies," Sang-min continued. "He proposes reparations for our transgression. Financial compensation, technology transfers, territory concessions, whatever Earth requires to accept peace between our civilizations." Dr. Yuna leaned forward, her expression kind but serious. "Ambassador, we appreciate the gesture, but we need to be very clear about something. Earth does not want your money. We do not want your territory. We do not want your technology." Sang-min's body flickered with confused orange light. "I do not understand. What does Earth want?" "We want to be left alone," Jiwan said simply. "That is all. No trade agreements, no diplomatic exchanges, no cultural programs. We want your empire to mark Earth's solar system as forbidden territory and never return." "But surely there could be benefits to peaceful relations," Sang-min began. "Ambassador," Yuna interrupted gently. "Let me show you something." She activated a holographic display in the center of the table. Images appeared floating in the air. Sang-Min recognized them immediately. Weapons. Incredibly advanced weapons. But these were different from the ones that had destroyed the Velkari fleet. What you are seeing, Yuna explained, are theoretical weapons that humanity has designed but never built. This one is a stellar ignition device. It can cause a star to go supernova, destroying every planet in the system. This one manipulates causality itself, allowing us to attack targets in the past. This one opens rifts into other dimensions, releasing energies that can tear apart reality. Sang-Min's crystalline core flashed white with pure terror. These cannot be real. Such weapons should not be possible. They are possible, Yuna said calmly. We have the theories. We have the mathematics. We could build them if we needed to. But we choose not to because they are too dangerous, too destructive. She changed the image to show the gravity, generators and quantum missiles that had destroyed the Velkari fleet. The weapons we used against your invasion force represent approximately 10% of our actual defensive capabilities, Yuna continued. We could have destroyed your fleet with weapons 100 times more powerful. We could have sent missiles to your homeworld and ended your empire in hours. But we did not. Do you know why? Sang-Min could barely speak. Why? Because we are not conquerors, Ji-won answered. We are defenders. You attacked us. We defended our home. That is all. We have no interest in destroying your empire or any other civilization. We only want to protect Earth, Tae-yang added. But if the empire attacks us again or if any other species threatens Earth, we will not show the same restraint. Next time we will use 100% of our capabilities, and there will be no survivors. No witnesses. No second chances. Sang-Min sat in shocked silence. He had come here expecting to negotiate terms, exchange offers, find a compromise. But the humans did not want anything except to be left alone, and they had the power to destroy entire civilizations if anyone bothered them again. I understand, Sang-Min finally said. I will relay your terms to the Emperor. I believe he will accept them without hesitation. Good, Ji-won said. She stood, signaling that the meeting was ending. We will provide you with detailed maps of our forbidden zone. Any Velkari ship that enters this region of space will be destroyed immediately without warning. Any communication attempting to contact Earth will be ignored. Any probe or satellite entering our solar system will be eliminated. We understand, Sang-Min said quickly. The Empire will honor these restrictions. Dr. Yuna walked with Sang-Min toward the door. Ambassador, I want you to understand something important. Humanity does not hate the Velkari. We do not wish for your destruction. We simply learned a difficult truth about the galaxy. Peace is rare. Aggression is common. So we prepared ourselves to survive. You prepared very well, Sang-Min said with genuine respect. We had 200 years, Yuna replied. 200 years of watching, learning, building. We saw what happened to species that were peaceful but weak. They were conquered, enslaved, destroyed. We decided that would never happen to us. She stopped at the window, looking out at the mountains. Do you see that beauty, Ambassador? Those mountains, those forests, the billions of humans living on this world, each with their own dreams and hopes and families. That is what we were protecting. That is what you threatened when you brought your fleet here. Sang-Min looked at the landscape. He thought about his own homeworld, his own family, his own people. If another species had threatened Velkar Prime with invasion, what would the Empire have done? They would have fought with everything they had, just like the humans did. I understand now, Sang-Min said quietly. You are not 6 months after the battle. The galaxy looked very different. The news of Earth's victory had spread to every corner of known space. Species that had been afraid to resist the Velkari Empire suddenly found their courage. Rebellions broke out on a dozen conquered worlds. Tributary states stopped sending resources. The empire that had ruled for 5 centuries was collapsing from within. Emperor Daehyun sat in his throne room, watching reports of another rebellion. The planet Kresh 7 had declared independence. The Velkari garrison there had surrendered without firing a shot. Nobody wanted to fight anymore. Not when they had seen what happened to the invasion fleet at Earth. Your Majesty, Minister Haewon approached carefully. We have received another request for diplomatic recognition. The Kresh system wishes to establish direct relations with Earth. Daehyun's crystalline body pulsed with tired gray light. How many does that make? 37 systems, Your Majesty. All of them former Imperial territories. They are not asking us for permission anymore. They are simply informing us of their decisions. The Emperor was quiet for a long moment. Then he made a decision that would have been impossible 6 months ago. Grant them independence. All of them. Issue a formal decree dissolving the Empire's claim on any system that wishes to leave. Heiwan looked shocked. Your Majesty, if we do that, the Empire will shrink to less than half its former size. Then let it shrink, Daehyun said firmly. We built our empire on conquest and fear. That foundation has cracked. Better to release the systems peacefully than to lose them in bloody wars we cannot win. He stood from his throne, his body glowing with decisive blue light. The galaxy has changed. Earth showed everyone that aggressive empires can be defeated. That powerful weapons exist beyond our understanding. If we want to survive, we must change too. No more conquest. No more aggression. We will focus on protecting the systems that choose to remain with us willingly. On Earth, Colonel Jiwan had been promoted to general. She now commanded not just the defensive network, but also humanity's first true space fleet. The construction yards in orbit around the moon worked constantly, building ships designed for exploration and diplomacy rather than pure defense. These new vessels were different from the hidden weapons platforms. They were visible, beautiful even, sleek ships with Earth's emblem displayed proudly on their hulls. But they were also heavily armed. Any species looking at them would understand that humanity could protect itself. The flagship was called Unity. It was 3 kilometers long, with accommodation for 5,000 crew members and diplomats. Commander Min Seo had been promoted to captain and given command of the vessel. She stood on the bridge now, watching as the ship prepared for its first mission. All systems ready, Captain, reported Lieutenant Bora from the engineering station. Weapons charged, shields at maximum. Navigation has plotted courses to 17 different star systems. Min Seo smiled. 17 systems. 17 civilizations that had requested contact with Earth after seeing the broadcast. Not empires looking to conquer. Not aggressive species looking for weakness. These were peaceful civilizations that wanted friendship and alliance. Take us to the first destination, Min Seo ordered. Let us show the galaxy that humanity can be friends as well as warriors. The Unity jumped to hyperspace, beginning Earth's journey into the galactic community. But this time, they went as equals, not as victims or conquerors. Back on Earth, in a military academy that had been greatly expanded, Captain Taeyang taught the next generation of defenders. The classroom was full of young officers, all of them eager to learn the tactics and strategies that had saved Earth. What was the key to our victory? Taeyang asked his students. A young cadet named Jiho raised his hand. Superior weapons, sir? No, Taeyang said. The weapons were important, but they were not the key. Anyone else? Another cadet, a woman named Hana, offered. The element of surprise? Closer, Taeyang acknowledged, but still not the answer. The key to our victory was patience. For 200 years, humanity watched and waited. We did not rush to join the galaxy. We did not announce our presence. We observed. We learned. We prepared. And when the moment came, we were ready. He activated a holographic display showing the battle. The Valkyrie brought 10,000 ships because they thought overwhelming force was the answer. But we had spent 2 centuries building weapons specifically designed to counter their tactics. We knew how they fought before they ever reached our system. Taeyang looked at his students seriously. Remember this lesson. Victory does not always go to the strongest or the fastest. Sometimes it goes to the most patient, to those who plan carefully and strike at the right moment. The cadets listened intently. They understood they were part of something important. Earth was no longer hiding. They were part of a new era. In her laboratory on Mars, Dr. Yuna worked with a team of scientists from 3 different species. The Valkyrie had sent some of their best researchers as a gesture of goodwill. 2 other peaceful civilizations had also offered scientific exchanges. For the first time in Earth's history, humans were collaborating with alien scientists on equal terms. The quantum entanglement equations are fascinating, said Dr. Kenji, a Valkyrie physicist whose crystalline body glowed with excited white light. Our civilization never considered using quantum superposition for weapons. We always focused on direct energy applications, Yuna smiled. That is because you were thinking like conquerors, You wanted weapons that could destroy fortifications and planetary defenses. We were thinking like defenders. We needed weapons that could strike precisely at the most vulnerable points of enemy vessels. Different perspectives leading to different solutions, Kenji observed. Working together, we could develop technologies neither of our species could create alone. That is the idea. Yuna agreed. Knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied. The scientific exchanges were producing results faster than anyone expected. Human understanding of energy manipulation was advancing rapidly. In return, Earth was sharing some of its defensive technologies with species that requested protection from aggressive empires, but not the most powerful weapons. Those remained Earth's secret. The gravity generators, the quantum missiles, the theoretical weapons Yuna had shown Ambassador Sang-min, those technologies stayed locked away, known only to humanity's most trusted scientists and military leaders. Because while the galaxy was becoming more peaceful, it was not yet fully safe. Ambassador Sang-min had remained on Earth as the permanent Velkari representative. Over the months, he had developed genuine friendships with several human diplomats. He understood now that the first impression he had of humans being fragile was completely wrong. They were strong in ways his species had never considered. "You changed the galaxy," Sang-min told Ji-won during one of their regular meetings. "Not just through military victory. You changed how species think about power." Ji-won considered this. How so? Before Earth, power meant having the largest fleet, the most territory, the most conquered systems. Military strength was everything. But you showed that there is another kind of power, the power of preparation, of patience, of knowing when to hide your strength and when to reveal it. Sang-min's body glowed with thoughtful blue light. Dozens of smaller civilizations are studying Earth's example now. They are building better defenses, hiding their true capabilities, preparing for the day when aggressive species attack them. The age of easy conquest is over because of what you did. Good, Ji-won said simply. The galaxy needs fewer victims and more survivors. On the bridge of the Unity, Captain Min-seo was completing the first diplomatic mission. The Tarkin Collective, a peaceful alliance of 3 species, had signed a mutual defense pact with Earth. If anyone attacked the Tarkin worlds, Earth would help defend them. In return, the collective offered trade, scientific exchange, and friendship. "Course set for home, Captain," reported the navigation officer. "We should reach Earth in 4 days." Min-seo looked at the view screen showing the stars. 16 more systems to visit, 16 more potential friends and allies. The mission would take months, but it was important work. Earth was building a network of peaceful civilizations that would support each other against aggressive empires. "Before we leave," Min-seo said, "send a final message to the Tarkin Collective. Tell them that Earth is proud to call them friends." The message was sent. The Unity jumped to hyperspace, carrying Earth's message of peace to the next destination. General Ji-won stood in the rebuilt command center of Fortress 1, looking at the tactical displays that showed the entire solar system. The defensive grids were still there, still active, still ready, but now they were supplemented by patrol ships and sensor networks that extended far beyond the solar system. Captain Tae-yang joined her at the display. "Thinking about the future, General?" "Always," Ji-won replied. "We won one battle. We proved that Earth can defend itself. But the galaxy is large, and there are many civilizations we have not encountered yet. Some of them might be peaceful. Others might be dangerous. We must stay ready." "The cadets are learning quickly," Tae-yang reported. "In 10 years we will have 10,000 officers trained in Earth's defensive doctrines. In 20 years, maybe 50,000. We are building on." Captain Tae-yang watched the tactical display with cold satisfaction. The screen showed 7,000 red dots representing the remaining Velkari ships. They were breaking formation, turning, trying desperately to escape. Some were firing their engines at maximum power. Others were attempting emergency jumps to faster than light speed. It would not save them. "Grid 1 has completed firing cycle," Tae-yang reported to Colonel Ji-won. 3,000 enemy vessels destroyed. 0 survivors detected. Grid 2 is ready to activate. Ji-won stood with her arms crossed, watching the chaos unfold. The aliens were panicking exactly as she had predicted. They had come here expecting an easy victory. Instead, they found a nightmare they could not understand. "What is Grid 2's operational status?" Ji-won asked. "All launch platforms are active," Tae-yang answered. "Missile systems are locked and loaded. Quantum entanglement is stable across all warheads. We have perfect targeting solutions on every remaining enemy ship. Commander Mincio spoke from her station. Colonel, we are receiving multiple distress signals from the Valkyrie fleet. They are trying to surrender. Some ships are powering down their weapons. Ignore them, G1 said without emotion. They crossed into our solar system with hostile intent. They refused peaceful contact. They threatened our planet. We offered them a choice before they came here, and they chose war. Now they face the consequences. Minseo nodded and muted the incoming signals. She understood the logic, but part of her still felt something. These were living beings who were about to die. Millions of them. But she also remembered what the Valkyrie had done to other species. She remembered the reports of conquered worlds, enslaved populations, destroyed civilizations. The Valkyrie had built their empire on blood and suffering. They deserved no mercy. Aboard the Eternal Glory, Admiral Hyunwoo was screaming orders that nobody followed. His bridge crew was too shocked to respond. They had just watched 3,000 ships disappear like smoke in the wind. Nothing in their training had prepared them for this. Nothing in the Empire's 500 years of conquest had ever been like this. Sir, the emergency jump system is not responding, shouted the navigation officer. Something is interfering with our ability to enter hyperspace. What? That is impossible. Hyunwoo grabbed the officer's shoulder. Override the safety protocols. Force the jump! I am trying, sir, but the system says the space around us is too unstable. If we jump now, the ship will tear itself apart. Hyunwoo realized the truth in that moment. The humans had not just destroyed 3,000 ships. They had also trapped the remaining 7,000 in normal space. They could not run. They could not hide. They were stuck here, waiting for whatever came next. Lieutenant Jae-min looked at his admiral with wide eyes full of fear. Sir, what do we do? Hyunwoo had no answer. For the first time in his 30-year military career, he had no idea what to do. Back on the moon, G1 activated Grid 2 with a simple hand gesture. The command was transmitted instantly to hundreds of hidden platforms scattered throughout the solar system. These platforms were different from the gravity generators. They contained something even more advanced, something that used quantum physics in ways that most species believed was impossible. The missiles launched silently in the vacuum of space. There were 5,000 of them, each one barely 3 meters long. They looked simple, small, harmless, but appearances were deceiving. Each missile contained a quantum-entangled warhead. The science behind them was complex, but the effect was simple. Each warhead existed in multiple locations at the same time until it was observed. And when it was observed, it would collapse into a single specific location, inside an enemy ship's reactor core. Taeyang had spent 10 years learning how to operate these weapons. He had studied quantum mechanics and probability theory. He had practiced on simulators thousands of times. But this was his first time using them in real combat. Missiles away, he announced. Time to target, 12 seconds. The Valkyrie sensors detected the missiles immediately. Alarms sounded across every ship in the fleet. Point defense systems activated automatically, tracking the incoming threats. Small missiles detected, Jaemin reported to Admiral Hyunwoo. They are not moving very fast. Our defense systems can easily shoot them down. Hyunwoo grabbed onto that hope like a drowning man grabs a piece of floating wood. All ships, activate point defense. Destroy those missiles. Across the Valkyrie fleet, thousands of defensive weapons opened fire. Laser beams, plasma bolts, kinetic projectiles. They filled space with deadly energy, all targeting the incoming missiles. Many of the missiles were destroyed. Their quantum cores collapsed harmlessly in empty space. But it did not matter. There were too many of them, and they were moving in ways that should not be possible. One moment a missile would be on one trajectory. The next moment it would appear somewhere else entirely, having jumped through space without traveling the distance between. The Valkyrie targeting computers could not track them. The weapons could not predict their movements. Impossible, Jaemin shouted. The missiles are teleporting. They are appearing inside our defensive perimeter. Hyunwoo watched helplessly as the missiles bypassed every defense and vanished from sensors. For a moment he thought they had missed. Then the first explosions began. The battleship Pride of Velkar exploded from within. Its reactor went critical in an instant, releasing enough energy to create a temporary new sun. The ship and its 5,000 crew members were vaporized. Then another ship exploded. And another. And another. Taeyang watched the tactical display as red dots disappeared one after another. Each explosion was perfectly timed, Each warhead had collapsed its quantum state at exactly the right moment, appearing inside the target's most vulnerable location. The reactor cores of 7,000 warships were being torn apart simultaneously. Direct hits confirmed on all targets, Tae Yang reported. Enemy fleet destruction at 97%. Estimated time to complete elimination, 6 minutes. Ji-won watched the carnage without expression. This was necessary. Humanity had tried peaceful contact first. They had sent messages. They had offered friendship and trade. The Velkari had responded with threats and demands. They had given Earth 1 week to surrender or face invasion. They had called humans primitive, weak, easy prey. Now they were learning the truth. Humanity was not primitive. They were patient. They had watched the Velkari Empire expand for 200 years. They had studied every battle, every tactic, every weakness, and they had built weapons specifically designed to destroy the Empire's fleet in one devastating attack. Commander Minseo checked her sensors. Colonel, some ships are attempting to abandon their vessels. I am detecting escape pods launching from the surviving ships. How many ships are still intact? Ji-won asked. Approximately 200, Colonel. Most are heavily damaged but not destroyed. Ji-won made a decision. Order Grid 2 to cease fire. Let those ships survive. Let them carry the message back to their empire. Tae Yang looked surprised but followed the order immediately. Grid 2 standing down. Final count. 9,800 enemy vessels destroyed. 200 surviving with various levels of damage. The battle, if it could be called that, had lasted 18 minutes from start to finish. 10,000 Velkari warships had entered Earth's solar system. Only 200 would leave. 49 million alien crew members had died. The largest invasion force in the Empire's history had been annihilated with ease, and humanity had not fired a single conventional weapon. No lasers, no missiles of the traditional kind. No bullets. Just science applied in ways the aliens could not understand or defend against. Admiral Hyun-woo sat in his command chair, staring at the screens showing the destruction. His fleet was gone. His career was over. His emperor would demand answers he could not provide. How do you explain losing to an enemy that destroyed your ships with invisible weapons? How do you tell your superiors that humanity was never the primitive species they thought? Sir, incoming transmission, Jamin said quietly. It is coming from Earth's moon. Hyun-woo almost laughed. Of course it was. The humans wanted to talk now, after they had killed millions, after they had proven their superiority beyond any doubt. Put it through, Hyun-woo said tiredly. The main screen changed to show a woman in a simple military uniform. She looked calm, professional, like she had not just ordered the death of an entire army. Her eyes were cold and hard. This is Commander Minseo of the Earth Defense Force, she said. You invaded our system with hostile intent. You brought weapons of war to our home. You threatened our planet and our people. We have responded proportionally. Proportionally? Hyun-woo thought. You destroyed 98% of my fleet and you call that proportional? But he said nothing. He just listened. We are transmitting this message on all frequencies, Minseo continued. Every listening post in this sector will receive it. Every civilization watching this battle will hear it. Earth is not defenseless. We are not victims. We are not weak, and we will never surrender to aggressors. She paused, letting her words sink in. Your surviving ships may leave our solar system. Return to your empire. Tell your emperor what happened here. Tell him that humanity offers peace to those who come in peace.